Oh, I saw some of your work, not just the work with fish, but with your prior book, and it's incredible. It's beautiful work.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of that.
Yeah, when you take two characters that are completely different, but they're somehow captured.
It's
phenomenal.
Comparing two different.
Yeah, if it wasn't thousands of dollars, I'd have a copy.
Yeah, it's out of print now.
Right.
So Ozzy, you're one of the people I interviewed early on in this project.
Mm-hmm.
It was over 5 years ago, I think.
It was.
And you were with a girl named Caitlin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell me what's happened there. You guys are still together or no longer?
We're not together. I would be. She's lost her mind. She's no longer there. We found out, and I found out in a really strange way too. But we found out that we had syphilis for over a decade, and we didn't even know it. Since Chicago, we came here from Chicago about 11 years ago.
So you had syphilis when I interviewed you?
Yeah. And but at the time, it wasn't really rearing its ugly face, it didn't show up till much later. She started to kind of get off hinge, so to speak.
Which is what happens with syphilis?
Yeah, it becomes neurosyphilis. It goes to your brain, and you just go daffy. It's what happened to Nietzsche. It's very visible in his writings and his later work, Curse of the Wagner and stuff. It's just his sister took over because But either way, it started to surface in little ways, and I thought she was acting out. I thought it was fake, and then it got violent. One night, we had the greatest day. It was after a few months that I had stayed away from her because a little crazy moments, but. We had this great day, and we're more together than we had been in years. And then we fell asleep next to each other, just in like a friend's tent, because we were both just bouncing around independently at the time. And I woke up to her stomping on me with high heels. She thought that a clone had replaced me in my sleep, and that somehow the real Ozzy wasn't there, that real Ozzy was in danger. That was her way of saving me somehow. It was just, brutally stomping on me, man,
With heels.
With heels, high heels, yeah. Yeah, it was a sharp wake up. And things got worse and worse. I think for a little bit she even had COVID at the same time because her face was purple, and she would just march around MacArthur Park yelling at herself or at things that weren't there,
So this was a few years ago?
Yeah. Now it's kind of plateaued. There are outlying moments where she's just wacky, but because I made myself available to her as just someone who's there, She really it's kept me from going leaving LA or getting back to the life that I miss in Chicago because I can't leave an entire human being just by herself, with no one. Her parents came to try to find her too out here. She was aware of this and hid from them, and yeah, so I'd see her from time to time in MacArthur Park, and we can have conversations now. She's got a little more together, but certain things will set her off. I can't really tell you what specifically because I haven't mastered that yet. But sometimes it'll just be idle moments. We'll just be sitting there. I'll have my arm around her or something, and she'll look at me in shock. She'll be like, why'd you do that to me? I'm like, what, babe? What's going on? What's wrong? She's like, why'd you take that from me? And it'll be some not physical, how do I put it? It'll be her artistic skill or something that I took from her somehow. It's really weird.
Is she? And she's still around?
She's still around. Yeah. I'm at a point where I almost want to just lie and say we're still together and get her 5150 or something to force her to take the medication because from what I understand it's reversible. Maybe not all of the mental things there.
You've had your syphilis treated?
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
How do they treat it? Antibiotics?
Yeah, antibiotics. It's just penicillin. Yeah. I found out in a really weird way. I was living with my friend Chip. And so he's got two cats. Well, one of them passed, but he had two cats at the time. And I'm sitting there watching the cats. I swear to you, this is real. This is exactly what happened. I'm sitting there watching one of the cats, and he's staring at me a little more like deeply than I think a cat's ought to be capable of, and he's like, I heard him say, he can hear me. And I'm looking at the cat and like clean my eyes off and stuff, and he's like, he can hear me. You can hear me. And like looks me dead in the eyes and says, you can hear me. And scampers off to the bathroom, and I could hear him whispering to the other cat, like I think he can hear me. And the other cat's like, I don't give a fuck. We're not telling him. I do not give a fuck. And then I heard a three-way conversation between my roommate and the two cats. And my roommate's like, no, we're not telling him shit. And I'm like, okay, something's the matter. Something is definitely wrong. I went to the hospital. I demanded like an MRI or something. They wouldn't do that because I don't have good insurance, but they gave me every test available, and they found syphilis, and so it was starting to get to my head, man.
Oh, it started to affect you as well.
Yeah, mentally, for sure. So, but I mean, I never had a physical symptom or anything.
The 10 years of having syphilis is kind of...
Yeah, and I did. I mean, usually it doesn't really have much of an effect, like physically or mentally. Like men get the lesser end of the brutality for sure, but
how did you guys get it, you think?
Well, so I was abstinent for a long time when I got out here. Like that girl did a number on me. Like just I was really just turned off by relationships and everything for a while. But in Chicago, it was quite the opposite. We like I was in like a 14-way relationship. It sounds way more intense than it is. Me and my roommate had a 3-bedroom apartment in Chicago, and 14 chicks were living with us, and we were all in one big relationship. It was like a big hippie house. Everyone had dreadlocks.
Sounds fun.
It was pretty cool.
And you.
But so, yeah, and then just one of the younger one, I think one of the younger chicks in the movement of sorts was because we all strictly messed around with each other, but she was more sparing with her love, and I'm pretty sure she would have been the one that, because I went back and contacted everybody that I had hooked up with and told them, like, get yourself checked out. We have syphilis, But I think that chick was the source of it all, and we just kind of, because we were platonic for so long after that we didn't even get tested, me and Caitlin. I mean, yeah.
So you were a fentanyl addict last time we spoke.
Yeah, I'm still at the blunt end of that. I have a concrete plan that I'm sticking to, and I was also a Xanax addict the last time we spoke, and it's now been a year and 2 months since I got off of Xanax. That was a monster. It took 2 months of seizures daily seizures that literally it's not like an epileptic seizure that you're not aware of. You're fully aware. And I was like in a mosh pit with the ground, like already. Like when I felt it coming on, I would tell myself like just block your face this time. Just put your hands in front of your fucking face. Just block your face this time, and it never would happen. And I'd be bleeding and just thwarting against the ground. Luckily, like a few days into that, and that was by choice while on the street. Like I needed to get off of it. I was in a
That was
fog.
from the Xanax.
Yeah, it was the Xanax. I think that had a far stronger grip on me than the other, but the other, I'm tapping out this time. I'm getting help for it. I'm calling Cry Help, and I'm gonna just go into treatment. But I have this book that I've been working on for a long time, and it's already pretty much finished. I just wanna get it out there. I'm just gonna self-publish, and I wanna get it out there before I go in. So like if I don't do it by the end of this month, then I'm just gonna go in and worry about the book when I get out. But my current roommate, which is an altogether different roommate than any roommate I've mentioned in any story prior, is he's a good guy, and I'm gonna just if I finish it, I'm gonna just leave it in his hands to work out while I go in, And I'm just
I remember I asked you last time, where would you like to be in 5 years?
Whoa, that's a trip.
So here we are 5 years later.
You absolutely did.
You're in the same exact situation you were in.
Well, not so much. I'm indoors now. I mean, I'm eating healthily and taking care of myself and clean and stuff like that. I mean, Caitlin kind of just got my hands tied as far as leaving LA. LA is definitely not where I saw myself being.
Yeah, you wanted to be
even
back
a year from then.
When I asked you that question, you said you wanted to be back in Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the ultimate goal. But I mean, I'm not even sure how to deal with this chick. Like, everyone's telling me just move the fuck on, but this girl is in a mental situation, or in a mental health crisis, really, that she can't do much of on her own and do much for on her own. And how do I just turn my back on that? That's
the
a whole
antibiotics,
person.
or you think would help her?
Huh?
The antibiotics would help her?
I believe so. I hope so. Yeah, I don't think it's... Huh?
It helped you.
Well, yes. No longer am I under the suspicion that cats are talking, so... Yeah.
Can you get her to take them?
I've tried everything verbally. Like, the only thing I can do is force her into a medical situation, or into a legal situation where they make her take it, Like, I mean, do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's going to be it. And I very recently had to. I should have done it a long time ago, but I just told her mom like the full extent of the situation, because I didn't even realize that her mom wasn't aware of it. I heard her talking to my mom, to her mom, and she's like, this is the whole phone call. She's like, "Mom, they're trying to suck my soul out through my feet. Send me $30." And I kind of chuckle about it, but it's a very serious thing. It's a very painful.
So many of the mental health issues that we see on the street they're sometimes affected by the drugs, or sometimes caused by.
I'm starting to think I think way more than half, at least, of the mental health situation on the street is syphilis based, because the parallels are like so many,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the mental. It's a open air insane asylum.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
In Skid Row.
Absolutely.
But you got housing.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't made it much farther than Skid Row. I'm Skid Row adjacent now. I'm one block up on
Right.
5th and Main, but it's.
Really, Skid Row is just extending from Skid Row all the way to MacArthur Park.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, but I think up on the 6th floor, I'm away from it enough,
Mm-hmm.
And really, I mean, what we're talking about is like the Skid Row is a mentality, I think, and I'm definitely far away from that now.
Yeah, Skid Row is a mentality.
Right.
What do you miss? What do you miss most about your old life?
About my old life, prior to fentanyl and everything?
Yeah.
What do I miss the most? Everything, man. Absolutely everything. I don't know, just the silent moments, the quiet moments when nothing was going on, just how those felt compared to the when nothing is going on moments now, Like, nowadays they're more concerned, or these days I can relax now, and just take a load off and like watch some TV or whatever. But back then I seemed like I had so much ahead of me to sink my teeth into, and just as an artist and everything, and I let so many opportunities just trash and burn,
How do you feel like you've changed since the drugs kind of took over?
Well, now I have a tremendous gratitude for everything, from the little things to just the people that are still in my life. My mama and my brother. They're in Chicago, but we are in contact. I just had a birthday a couple of days ago, and because of that, I reestablished my communication with my big brother, and that's good. And just gratitude for every little, all the people that were there for me in Chicago that I took for granted too. I've rekindled a bunch of little friendships now that I'm back indoors and on the internet and so on, and I realized how like I don't know. I like being my friendship was a big deal to a lot of people that I kind of took for granted, you know. And uh, when I do go back, I'm gonna adapt accordingly and just make everyone that I interact with feel special, you know, because they are.
Mm. And Ozzy, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life now?
You just drink it up, soak it up, you know, embrace the fuck out of every second, because it's not a guarantee. It's by no means is it a guarantee. It could be taken from you. It could be ripped from you in a fucking second, you know.
Do you feel like the situation you're in with the fentanyl addiction is something you kind of asked for because you were fucking around with drugs, or do you feel like it was just some random thing that just fell into you into your life?
It's a weird thing, man. Opiates for me have been a weird thing because before I was ever into them, I kind of glamorized them when I was really little, you know. Like the first movie I ever saw in theaters, 1994. I was I think 6 or 7. It was Pulp Fiction, and I just I remember just being starry-eyed and thinking like the whole thing. And then I watched Trainspotting and Requiem, and both of those movies end horrifically. But that's not the part I focused on. I focused on like the heroin chic thing and all of that, you know. And I was into it before I was into it, and I mean now I despise it, you know. And just like Xanax, which I feel like the stronghold it had over me was far more crippling than fentanyl because I was unaware that I hated it. I was just in this like blind little bliss, you know, not even bliss, blind little stupor that I considered acceptable because of the Xanax, you know. And both drugs make you complacent. They make you okay with things that like deep down you're really not okay with. It's weird. I do this little it's called the Egyptian Game of the Gods, and I have people visualize these things in their mind, an entire desert and all these items in the desert. And it's really interesting because it gives me a deep look into people's souls, like to do this. And I've played this game for years in different places, you know, from like jails in Chicago to like among the rich, among the poor, among every walk of life, punk rockers all across, you know. And I traveled on freight trains for a long time. So all over the place I've played this game. In China I've played this game. And one thing that just stands out is when fentanyl users, and like myself included, but when I play the game, when we visualize these things, there's this part at the end where you visualize a storm. And you're supposed to describe to me in detail how the storm affects everything else that you've envisioned and everything in relation to everything else and its size and all that. And for some reason, like everywhere else, like people are envision themselves in the desert, like finding refuge or comfort or like some sort of uncomfortable feeling as the storm approaches. But no, the fentanyl users are smack dab in the middle of their storm, and seemingly just okay with it, seemingly just there in the middle of it, getting thunder and rain and all of that. Their garden, which represents their family, is getting destroyed, and everything around them is getting destroyed, and they're just smack dab in the middle of it, calm as a Hindu cow, you know. It's bizarre to me, and that's the core of the issue right there. Is that it makes you okay with things that you know. I mean,
should not be
your
okay.
mind, your heart, your soul are telling you this is fucked up, but somehow you're crossing your legs, relaxing in the middle of it. You know, it's terrifying.
When we spoke last time 5 years ago, you said you love traveling. That's who you are. You're a traveler,
right?
And have you traveled at all?
Here I am in the same exact place. No, I have not. Well, I've explored as much of L.A. as I can. And I have seen quite a bit, you know, San Diego and fucking the Ocean Beach, and well, it's still San Diego, but Anaheim, and just all over the place on little adventures and whatnot.
That's not real traveling, though.
It's not. I've definitely, like, everything came screeching to a halt, you know, and it's riding on. But I mean, I do feel a bit of comfort in saying, you know, that I put all of myself into this book, and I've managed to keep my situation afloat for long enough to you know, see it through to the end. And you know, so and that's been the goal all along, is as soon as this is done. And it's not like, you know, it's not like a distant goal, like whenever the hell I finish this book, then I'll get clean. I've set timelines for myself, you know, and it's all riding on this moment. And so, you know, maybe I can do a follow-up on it when I get to the other side, you know. But I will be off of the fentanyl, you know. Just like I told myself, I'm getting off Xanax. I'm getting, this is next, you know.
That'd be great. I'd love to do another one with you one day.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Ozzy. Well, good luck with your rehab.
Thank you.
Just stick through with it.
Absolutely.
It's going to be tough, I'm sure. And maybe we'll talk again one day.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Even though Soft White Underbelly consists of a lot of videos, it's really still a photography project to me. And if you appreciate the photography, sometimes it's difficult to enjoy it when it's scrolling down the screen, which is the only option I had in this horizontal format on YouTube. So last year we came out with the first Soft White Underbelly book, which is a collection of the best portraits from the thousands of interviews I've done. Each portrait in this book is accompanied by an interesting quote from the person's interview.
Oh my God.
There's more.
Wow. These aren't as bad as I thought. I look like a witch.
I will not be reprinting this book when it sells out. So once it's gone for good. You can order yours at softwhiteunderbelly.org. $125, $150 for a signed copy. And thank you for watching.